All right, y'all. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. This is the Divij's Den. We officially got a setup. Thank you to Grant. And man, I sometimes I spend a lot of time like trying to get guests, and I feel like I'm like, yo, who can I get that has clout or that I think we would have a good conversation. And I find myself like chasing people, and I think what I'm learning is I just want to have good conversations that people will benefit from, like people that they can learn from, they can grow from. They can hopefully get entertained from. And I was like, who do I know that is funny and also is very smart, but also like just like we just flow. And I was like, bet we got to get my boy Yizzo back because you were on before.
Yeah.
This is that part 2.
Absolutely.
So welcome back, bro.
I'm back.
He's back.
I appreciate it, though.
Yeah, of course. And we got Grant, of course, the producer of the show.
Yo.
But, last time you were on, I think we were, both of us, like just... or maybe for me, I was just in a different spot at the time. But I feel like you've also grown a lot since that time, too. So I'm excited for our conversation. I feel like it's going to be a little more mature. We'll probably still bullshit like we always do.
Oh, yeah,
but,
for sure. Absolutely.
For sure.
But
We've already had like 3 podcasts worth of conversations before the cameras even started. Every time we get together, like in the studio, whatever it is, we always have great conversation.
No.
That's what I've noticed.
The vibes are always right.
It's always right. But we were in the studio a couple weeks ago, and we were sitting there. I don't even think we did any music, but we were just posted, and we were you guys. It was mostly you guys having a conversation. But I was like, dude, this was a podcast. Like, we need to get together and actually like chop it up and talk about it. So before we like get into it, Yizzo, what have you been up to? How's life? Like, fill me in on your journey, because
it's been good. Like, it's been good, bro. Like, I think it's just like different stages. So you shift with life, you know what I mean? Like, I've just been doing a lot of stuff for the kids now, right? Like they're playing basketball, and I'm finding so much enjoyment in that, like watching them grow, because they sucked. Oh my God, they were terrible. I'm being honest. I'm not one of those. Yeah, they're good now.
Okay,
they're good.
Okay,
but I'm not one of those parents that I'm like, oh, my kid is the best. Like, no, they were terrible.
Yeah.
But like the growth part of it and watching them grow has like been incredible to me. So like right now, that's like my main focus is like I feel like I'm trying to get them to like the WNBA or something like that. Like, I don't think that's like possible, but
do you think?
But like we're training like we're going.
Hold on, you talk about WNBA. Do you think the WNBA is really a sport?
Okay, we're getting into it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Nah. I do think it's a sport. I don't think it's as good as the NBA in any fashion, because girls just can't do what men can do, right? Like, they just can't.
Let's dig into that.
Nah, being honest.
I mean, they can have babies, Yizzo.
Yeah.
No, but I understand what you're saying. Like, it's not as entertaining.
No, it's not. Like, a woman can't do a 360 dunk.
They're not like windmill dunking into.
They're not jumping from the foul line and dunking.
Yeah.
I like that we're here, so I want to take it a step further. Do you think it's fair for transsexual players to be playing as females?
No, absolutely not.
Why not? If they identify as female, why can't they play in it?
Absolutely not. Still, the biological part of their body is still a man. Like, it's just, let me put it this way, right? If I had the chance, right? Like, I'm not saying I would, but I'm letting you know right now, like back when I used to run track in high school, if I would have ran in girls' events, I would have never lost.
You're smoking
like, I would have never lost. It's just
5 minutes in, we're getting into trans athletes.
I'm telling you, brother.
Just not, that's just my thought about it. I think that they're just, it's like biologically a man, born as a man. You just have unfair advantages, and that's not me having an opinion. That's like scientific facts based around
I think that to kind of settle everything and like get everybody in a happy place on it, they need to create like their own league.
Yeah.
Not even just trans people, but like a league where anybody can play. Like, it can literally be male. It can be co-ed sports, and anybody can play on any team. Like, there can be trans players, there can be women, there can be
just a
male.
free for all.
Yeah, kind of. And if you sign up for it, then you know what you're getting into. You know what I mean?
So you're saying it could be like people that are in wheelchairs, transgenders.
Maybe not that, like not disabled, but because like I mean,
so if you're disabled, you can't go. So you're excluded.
They have their own league. There is a disabled league. You know what I mean? So that's already a thing. But I mean, I'm just saying, whoever wants to be in it, you know what you're signing up for. You know that you're going to be playing against trans athletes. You know you're going to be playing against women. You know you're going to, and like it'll be a mixture of teams. But also with the trans thing, So if somebody has been trans like their entire life and has been taking the hormones and like the things that block, or the hormone blockers that like block testosterone, block like, you know, they block like your bone density or whatever they block, you know, do you think that person is still equal to like a real, not a real man, but like do you think that they're equal to like a male athlete?
Nope.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
So
do you think that person would be able to perform in like women's sports?
No, I still think that you still like, there's just structures that we have as a man that women don't have, right? It's still unfair. I even have to push back on your thing like, hey, they should have their own thing. Like, no, I think it's to still be like trans men and trans women, because if you put men in the women and women in the men will always excel.
But even if it's a co-ed sport, like if it's a co-ed team, if all the teams are co-ed, like
I mean, maybe
men
chess
and women.
Like, I don't see.
No.
Like,
I understand. I understand what you're saying
too,
but there's got to be some women that can like, you know, do their thing with men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like fully to that extent, but I mean, if it's a co-ed team, like there's men and women on every team.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
That's pretty equal, right?
I still think as this, right? Like, and I'm just pushing back and
I'm just pushing back.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean?
So it's just,
we're all pushing back.
it's as a man, like you're just going to, I mean, I get it. If you're just suck at sports, then that woman probably, there are women that could beat men. It's very low, but I'm talking about if I'm top tier and you're top tier, like as a woman top tier and I'm a man top tier, my top tier will always exceed. Now, women are going to play with guys that just can't run fast or just can't jump high. There's tons of those guys out there. But if we're talking about the real guys that know how to do this stuff, it will never compare. There's none. But I get that too. If it was like, hey, we're playing basketball and it's 3 girls, 2 guys, or you know, maybe make it even like that. But the guys will just always shine.
So we agree there's only 2 genders, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
let me
push back. Let me push back. You know, like, because I think that there's 2 sex. I think there's male and female.
Right.
But I do think that like gender, it is on a spectrum. You know what I mean? Like we take certain traits and then we're like, that is a man or that's a woman. You know, there's a difference between sex and gender, you know, like male and female, and then genders are like women, men, and then whatever anybody wants to call themselves. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't really care what people call themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially if they're, because I think there's a lot of trans people that get a bad rep out there for the people who are like being really divisive on the internet. You know, there's a lot of trans people that are just like, they have issues.
Yes.
Like everybody.
Yeah.
There's people of all types who have mental issues or who seek attention and do all these things. And I think that I think there's a lot of trans people out there who just want to live their life and just, you know, don't want this pressure. They don't want all these eyes on them judging them. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So the Bible, shout out to Bible, by the way, for sending me this beautiful massive book of Genesis.
Yeah.
Really, really beautiful. But in the book of Genesis,
shout out JOD.
Shout out to GOD.
GOD.
Oh, you said JOD.
I did say JOD. GOD.
Shout out Jod. So in the book of Genesis, you know, there's Adam and Eve, and then Eve was created from the rib of Adam.
Yeah.
So according to Christianity, there's 2 genders, male and female. And homosexuality is
that's sex. That's a sex. Yeah.
Sex, yeah. But there's 2 sexes.
Yeah.
Homosexuality is defined as a sin, and basically, people that are, you know, homosexuals and trans and doing all this stuff, basically the overarching opinion or rule or whatever is that these people had trauma in the past, or they're struggling, or they're going through something that's making them living in sin, making them going through something or doing something to make them do this stuff, but it's wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my question is it wrong to be gay? And do you guys think it's wrong to be trans? Like, is that a sin in your guys' mind?
I personally,
you're gonna take Grant. You're gonna take this one first. No.
I know.
Go ahead. Right. All right. I'm gonna think.
I mean, no. I personally don't think that. I don't think it's a sin. And I don't really look at life as like that's a sin or that's not a sin. You know what I mean? I look at it if like you're a good person with good morals, and then there's people that don't have good morals or good intentions. You know, like I kind of look at it like that. But also, I think that I feel honestly like there's got to be some type of like biological thing to when somebody's gay. Like I really do think so, because I feel like we've all known those kids in like elementary school who were like, that kid's gonna like dudes when he grows up. You know what I mean? Like you just know. Like they
I love
just
that you
have
pointed
it.
at Yizzo.
Oh no, not this
Like,
dude.
that guy.
I was pointing over there. He's somewhere over there. But no, I mean like there's some kids where you see it and it's like,
yeah,
and they come from a good family. They come from, you know, I guess you don't always necessarily know if they've come from trauma or whatever, but I think that there's plenty of gay people out there who haven't had a traumatic past, and they just chose that path of liking men, whatever it is. It's obviously a thing. So, you know, I think that I don't think it's necessarily wrong. I think there's a lot of good gay people out there, you know.
Are they hurting?
I think everybody's hurting, right? Everybody's kind of fucked up in their own way, you know.
Amen.
Are you hurting?
Oh yeah, of course.
Are you gay?
I am gay.
right.
Yes. Announcement.
Yeah.
No, very straight.
I mean, yeah, you know. So,
but I love
who's to
everybody.
say?
I love them all. Like when I see a gay person, like I by the way, I'm just telling you what I've read from scripture and whatnot, and I could even be misinterpreting it. I don't know everything. I love everybody. I love gay people. I think everyone's equal.
Where does it say that in the Bible, though? That people...
It's definitely in the Bible that like being a homosexual is like one of the top tier sins. It's
Yeah,
like
but,
levels
but
of
where does it
sins.
say about it stems from trauma?
No, it doesn't say that it stems from
doesn't say it
trauma. I
stems
think
from
that's
trauma.
just people trying to put
Explain
a
it.
label
Explain
or
it.
something on it, right?
Yeah.
And I you know,
What's
I don't
your
think
take
there's
on it? Yeah,
so first
you
off,
grew up
I
in the
wanna,
church,
Yeah,
right?
I did grow up
Yeah.
in church, and my dad's a pastor, and
Okay.
according to my faith, right? Like, and I'm Christian, you know.
Yeah.
God's the homie, right? But yeah, it's wrong in the faith. I'm not saying that I hate gay people or hate trans people. I love all people. But it also says in the Bible, and I think this is really key, and I think this is where a lot of times where some Christians piss me off. It's like you're not capable or able to judge anybody. So if that person is gay and they're gay, let them be gay. You can say, hey, I don't agree with that, but that person should still be in church, because if you think about it, God was in the field. He was outside. God was outside. He wasn't inside. He was hanging out with prostitutes. He was
Jesus,
hanging out with
yeah.
murder. Like, Jesus. Well, when I say God, Jesus,
is
it's
God.
all the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
thing to me, just to clarify how I see it as. So when it comes to being gay, I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I also think that as humans, we're not supposed to judge anybody for anything, because we have no capability of judging somebody when we're talking about like more for the afterlife, right? Because that's more what I feel like Christianity is letting you know, like, hey, live this life and then you'll have a better life when we're all gone from here. So no, all right. And then when it comes to, hey, are you born this way? I don't think anybody really knows, and everybody's just trying to figure it out. It's kind of like what happens after death. Nobody knows what happens after death, and nobody knows how this person became gay. Do I think there are times where trauma has occurred and that's happened? Yeah, that's just like sometimes a promiscuous woman or promiscuous man. There was some trauma when we're younger, but
Definitely.
that's just my insight on it. Like,
And
stop
then
judging people.
That is a reasonable take from a reasonable person who just so happens to be Christian. That's what I'm saying of like with the trans stuff too. Like there are reasonable trans people and there are unreasonable trans people that you see on the internet, and that's probably where you get your judgment from. Yeah. You know, then there's unreasonable Christians out there that you know, atheists and stuff like that get their judgments of Christianity through that. You know.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
That's real. Let's talk about the afterlife, because you brought that up, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
I had this guy, Holy Gabbana, who used to be Boot Gang on the podcast, and he was telling me this story about his friend Nero, this guy who got shot and he got killed, and he was pronounced dead in the hospital, and then he came back to life. They brought him back, and he lives to this day to tell the story of what he saw when he was dead.
Yes.
And he said he saw castles, he saw these like ghost-like figures, And it was like he was in heaven, and he was like, and John Gabbana, Holy Gabbana, asked him like, "Yo, would you rather be there or be here?" Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Dude, I'd rather be gone, like where I was."
I get what you're saying.
There. So he saw heaven, and he came back.
Yeah.
So do you think that's what happens in the afterlife? Like, what do you think? What do you think happens?
You know what's so crazy? I mean, we can all have a take, but nobody really knows. But I also, I'm very logical. So when it comes to like, hey, I feel like I had this moment of like near death, and then I seen God, and I seen this, and I seen that. I just don't. I don't believe it. And I'm not saying that there's not a God. I do believe that there's a God, but I also believe of a dream state and being in your subconscious, and your mind can do a lot of crazy things. Yeah, it can absolutely do that. So I'm not saying I'm happy. You know what I feel happened there? That was his moment to get his life together. And if that's what happened from it, and he's seen that he went to heaven, and that's what he needed to get his life together, then I feel like that's kind of like what God did for him to bring him there. I don't necessarily think you went to heaven, because if we look at the Bible, that's just not how that works, right? There's only one way to heaven, and that's living life, living right through Christ. We have to be called. It's after Revelations and everything that's happened. So you technically can't do that. But I think in his subconscious, I think that was a miracle from God to let him survive, showing him a vision and bringing him closer, because he's now, I'm sure he's now like telling his testimony, or is he closer to God?
Yeah.
So
was he religious before?
I don't know much about him, to be honest.
Because I think people see things like that when they die, or when they get knocked out and you're in a coma or something like that. I think you see certain things that society has like unconsciously ingrained into our minds. You know what I mean? So it's like you could probably see hell because we've all heard about hell. You know, like we've all seen hell in movies. We all know that, there's fire everywhere and there's demons and stuff like that. So, I think that you unconsciously, subconsciously have all of these things in your mind, and they're going to get let loose into your brain when you're, in a coma or something like that. So I don't necessarily, I think I like his answer of like, I don't think that was him actually going to heaven. I think that was kind of like his image of heaven that he has kind of implanted in his own brain. But God maybe maybe showed him that because it helped him get his life together or something. You know what I mean? I like that. I like the idea of that, even if I don't necessarily like, maybe I don't agree with it, whatever. But I think like at the end of the day, if you do something that improves your life and your lifestyle and who you are as a person, like do that. You know what I mean?
Grant, I'm 100% agree with you. 100%, yeah.
For sure. And it's positive for you, then do it.
Yeah. Do you guys think you're going to heaven?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if heaven's real, like something that I think makes more sense to me is reincarnation to a certain extent, because
what do you think? I'm sorry, I'm laughing. What do you think?
I mean, I don't think I'm going to come
He's
back.
coming back as a plant.
As like a
I don't know
turtle or
why.
something.
Oh man, you're going to come back as a firefly.
You know what I'm saying though?
I could see you as like a wiener dog.
Bro, what?
Like a cool, not like a small one.
Like a fucking
nice
dachshund?
Like a cool one.
Yeah.
Like
I guess.
Like a cool, maybe like a chihuahua.
I don't like
like a
I don't like
poodle.
wiener dogs. I don't like dogs really.
You don't like dogs?
I would not like to be a dog.
Oh man,
back.
that would suck being a dog.
And
I'm be honest with you.
You hate yourself.
But you know what's so funny, right? Like, so I definitely agree in heaven. Right now, if I'm going off of my religion and what I do, I'm not living right to go to heaven, and God forgive me. And I always ask for God's forgiveness, because I do need to get my life right, especially since I am Christian and I believe in heaven, and I believe there's a hell. I also believe that even if you don't believe in hell, it's still there and it believes in you, right? Like, not targeting you, but that's kind of how, like, where I'm really at. Like, regardless if you believe in it or not, like, you're either going to either or.
I think I would come back as a dachshund if I was living a shitty life and I was being a horrible person, for sure.
Yeah.
I think there's consequences for your lifestyle, for sure.
For sure.
I believe in karma and stuff.
Yeah.
But I do, but so funny, I believe in reincarnation and the fact that, like, think about this, like, once we die, we become a part of the earth anyway, right? Like,
That's
certain parts of
kind
our
of what
stuff.
your energy gets repurposed.
Yeah, it does. It's,
your
like
consciousness or your soul, whatever.
or, like, even when you like decompose and like some of your stuff goes into there, or like your organs or something like that, like it has to go somewhere, and like maybe it ends up in the ground or whatever. Like some part of you. Maybe if it's not just technically your conscious,
Yeah.
it's some kind of your minerals or something
Or
will
maybe
always be here.
It even is like what Bunt Gang's or Holy Cabana's homie said of like, you know, he died, right? You said he died.
They pronounced him dead.
They pronounced him dead,
Yeah.
and he was seeing all those things. Maybe that's just what you go to. Maybe that is what it is. It's just he came back, so he only experienced it for like a moment of time. But like maybe that is what, maybe like your DMT in your brain or whatever it is gets fully released, and it's just like this like euphoric like dream state that you just get put into, and then you can kind of control it yourself. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Do you believe in purgatory?
Like Ghost.
No, purgatory is like the place that you're at when you're waiting. But that's also in the Bible that it is a purgatory. But there isn't if we're thinking about it, we can't be in purgatory anymore because Jesus died for us and he was able to go down there and release people that were in the purgatory and give them a chance. Like he died and went to hell, right? Technically for 3 days and preached to the people in hell so they had a chance to go to heaven. Like, do you believe in me or do you not? So I think purgatory, according to the Bible, isn't there anymore because of Jesus.
Okay.
I see.
Do you believe in ghosts? Think ghosts are real?
I don't believe ghosts are real, but I believe in like demonic spirits and I believe in angels, right? Like I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm not unsure. Like I'm kind of like borderline with the ghost thing. Like it could be real because if there's spirits, right, there could also be ghosts too.
Like
so
where
that's really
where do
weird.
the spirits come from? You know,
It's like it's a real fine line. I need to ask my dad
yeah.
or my grandma.
That's an interesting perspective, though.
I was in Nashville a couple days ago, and there was a huge cemetery, big cemetery, and I was running around it, and I feel like
running around.
Like we're not gonna just get past that. Like, okay,
around.
you're in a cemetery. Got it.
Yeah, there was a free. That was the only place I could run. But honestly, I like to do that sometimes. Like I like to hang out near cemeteries because it puts things into perspective a little bit.
Okay.
If you need any of us, like we're just a phone call away. All right, just saying.
If you need perspective.
Well, we should talk about death too because I love the topic of death. I think it's very interesting. But there's like a level of peace that I feel when I'm around cemeteries. I don't know. No, I don't want to die. Like I'm not saying that. Yeah. But there's a level of like it's like a reality check, and it's like, like this is where we're gonna end up. So what's there to stress about? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I always wonder, like, do you guys? Or something I think about is like the people that were buried in these graveyards. Mm-hmm. Like, are there spirits surrounding this graveyard? Like, what's going on in this cemetery? Like, is it? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Kind of goes back to the conversation we were just having. Like, if
there goes.
Yeah, because I think, do you guys want to be buried or do you want to be cremated, where you just get turned to ash?
Honestly, I saw a video of there was a video of a guy who it was his body cadaver, and they had him hanging in a nightclub. And they had like threw a party with him.
That's
okay.
Where
I think I seen that on Instagram or something like that. Like,
I want to be that guy. Like throw a party.
Crazy.
Don't. You know what I mean? Let's not make it sad.
I think I've seen something like that.
Let's go crazy. I haven't really thought too much into it.
Yeah.
I figure like you know what? I think death is for like more like that. The ceremony part is more for the people that's still here. Yeah. Because I'm not here. I'm not conscious anymore. So I think I would leave that up to like maybe my kids or my family. Like whatever you guys want. Like I'm cool because I'm not here anymore. Like I truly believe that I'm not here. Like there's nothing. That's just a shell, right? Because your consciousness makes you who you are. But so if my kids wanted to put me in 15 different bottles and send me off to all the family or put me in the ground somewhere, then I think that I'd really leave that up to them.
Or a Viking funeral. Have you heard of a Viking funeral?
No, what's a Viking funeral?
They put your body on like a wooden ship and they put all your belongings that you want to get buried with. They send it out to sea and they shoot it with a flaming arrow and it lights it on fire. And
that'd be pretty cool.
It's kind of like cremation, but you get burned into the sea.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I like that.
I like that. I want to be buried in Iceland. Ooh. Iceland is my favorite place. So like, put me in Iceland somewhere.
Yeah,
Iceland.
Yeah. Okay, I want to switch gears because I love how we went from trans to Jesus, and
we've gone everywhere.
We've been everywhere. Yeah,
yeah, crap. For sure.
I want to talk about relationships. I think we're all in relationships.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the male perspective in relationships a little bit. I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about your girlfriends having a male best friend or like a lot of male friends?
Yizzo, you want to take it? Go ahead, Yizzo.
Hell no.
He said, "Hell no."
Hell no. Like,
is it a respect thing or what?
No, it's not that. It's just like I'm a man and I know men, right? Like especially a single man, right?
Yeah.
Like let's be honest. I'm trying to tap that ass. Single man.
Real.
Like
Okay.
yeah, and I'm sitting back. I'm waiting for my chance. Oh, they've been together for 2 years. Oh, y'all going through. Oh, she posted some on Instagram. She going through some shit. Hey, bestie, how you doing? Everything's okay. And then you get in those little vulnerable states. I know that there is not, unless he's gay. I'm okay with a gay best friend. I'm okay with that one. But a heterosexual man, I don't care if she called him right now and was like, "Hey, me and my man are going through some shit. Would you like, yo, let's link up and like let's do this. Like I just want to get this shit fucked out of me." She's going, like he's going.
Jesus.
He's
in it.
He's 100%.
Let me put a scenario out there.
Okay, let's put it out.
Let me push.
Okay.
So
He's waiting.
No,
he's in the cut.
No, I do think I do agree with some of what you're saying for sure. Because I do think that there are like friends out there who, you know, are just men that don't know how to fully express themselves to women. So they'll sneak into the friend zone or whatever. But what if it's like a situation where this is your girl's friend before you even knew her, before you started dating? Like it's like a high school friend, and it's a guy, and he may be single at that time, whatever, that you guys start dating. Yeah. How do you approach like going into that and being like, "Hey, I don't want you to be friends with any straight guys," but then she's like, "What are you talking about? Like I've known this guy my whole life. I've known him before I've known you, you know, like who are you to say like who I can, you know, hang out with?"
I'm your man. That's who I am.
Yeah.
I'm your man. Like, so it's kind of one of those things where it's like certain things like you just have a strong stance on. It's like, is it me or him? Like, is that really into a discussion? And it comes down to, I'm not saying that, like, let me put it this way. I'm not saying she can't know people and like have a friend. Like we're out, you see somebody you went to high school, you say hi, but I don't think there's going to be like constant contact. And I don't mean constant contact as like every day or once a week. Like there's no reason I don't think that the man should be like just texting, right?
Yeah.
Like, "Hey, how you been?" or whatever. Like the line is so thin when it comes to it because of I know what most men's intentions are, right? Unless you were trying to do it for like a job or something like that, right? Like I feel like if it was like a networking thing or it was like I think it has to be a purpose.
Yeah.
Every contact and communication, it has to be a purpose.
For sure.
You're bored? like
Yeah.
I'm about to say some shit. Like go text, go find your own bitch because this one's mine, right? Like you don't need to be messaging, finding out like you're bored. Like, oh, you're bored. That's fine.
I think no, that's interesting, and it's like I think that if you do have friends of the opposite sex, like this goes for men too. I'm not just talking for women.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, for sure. It goes both ways.
If you have friends of the opposite sex and you get into a relationship, I think there's boundaries that immediately need to be set.
Yes.
Of, you know, like you're saying, like the texting shouldn't just be kind of like this like borderline flirty. You just need to like watch the way that you kind of interact with that person from now on. You know, it can't be too touchy feely. It can't be like anything that'll be disrespectful to your partner.
Absolutely.
And I think most people respect that and like understand that. You know what I mean? And because I mean, even with me and my girl, you know, like I had like a friend who was from my hometown, and me and her kept in contact because we had a lot of similar interests and things like that. And when me and my girl got together, you know, that girl from back home would text me and kind of be like, "I love you," and like,
oh.
Yeah, but I'm not like I'm in love with you.
Yeah,
but
no,
like,
I get what
hey,
you're saying.
love
like,
you. You know what I mean? Like,
just like expressing her feelings like, of that friendship that's probably meant a lot.
So did you
to
stop talking to that girl, or did you continue to communicate with her?
I continued for a little while, and then, you know, then that girl, she knew that I was in a relationship now. Yeah, and I think that she overstepped the boundary a little bit with certain things, like with certain text and things like that. She overstepped, and so, you know, my girl obviously didn't appreciate it, and I didn't appreciate it either. I was like, yo, you know, I'm in a relationship. Like, what are you doing here?
Do you think that when a girl knows that you're in a relationship, does that make her want you more?
Probably. There's like, yeah, that's definitely a situation for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think that was the situation, but she overstepped. She made my girl feel uncomfortable, and like in that situation, I was like, I'm gonna put my girl first.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but then also my girl has a friend that she's known since literally like since she lived like back in Atlanta, so like forever.
Yeah.
So he was like homies with her way before I had known her or anything. And he's a super respectable guy, like doesn't cross any boundaries. He has his own like fiance, you know what I mean? So I mean,
yeah,
like,
that's
obviously
different.
that's
Yeah.
different.
I
But
feel like when there's like when they're in relationships and stuff, but like
yeah.
when I just think about the possibility of there being a male female friendship, like just a friendship, platonic, when the two parties are single, I feel like it's impossible. Like at some point, you're probably gonna like
it's not
do something.
as likely.
It's hard, and it's I think it's you know what, this is crazy because normally like we kind of talk about like the female. It's us that's the problem. It's normally the men, right? Like it's the men's side of the relationship. That's call it a spade. It's us.
Brother,
I guarantee you, I have girlfriends right now that I can call and be like, yo, me and my girl are not doing good. Like, yo, let's hook up. She'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But there's like, I don't think on the opposite side of things, there's very, very few, the percentage of the men that be like, yeah, I'll tap it right now. You're single?
What do
like,
you have to say?
I just feel like men get caught more, so we're like notoriously known for being the bad ones or the cheaters or like the hornier ones, but women are just smarter about how they go about it. Like 100%. They'll do things on the low, they won't text about it, they won't like they won't even tell their friends. Like they'll keep that shit to themselves. So I don't know, man. I have a level of like, I think women are pretty devious.
Women are absolutely devious, but you also know why, because when it comes to the opposite side, like girls cheating versus men cheating, girls get away with it more because the guy is also down. Like if she's like, yo, we're keeping this on the low, we're not telling nobody, we're good. But if we have a girl and we're like cheating and that girl starts catching feelings and all of this shit, most of the time it gets blown up, not because of us, it gets blown up because of the other girl. Right. But if the girl was on the opposite side, she had a man,
well, that's a two-way street. Like if it takes two to tango, you know what I mean? So it's like both people are at fault in those situations.
Cheating is wrong, by the way.
Yeah, cheating is wrong in general.
Not just, I mean, bro, think about it. Let's get serious for a second. Like, when you think about what cheating really is, like if you're in a relationship with someone, you're dating or married, like, bro, you are getting in bed with someone else, doing the deed, that kind of dirty stuff, and then you're going back and laying with your person at night. Like it's not just wrong, that's gross.
Do you think there's
it's awful.
Do you think there's any justification to cheating?
No, not at all.
Nothing.
Break up with the person, then go do what you want.
What if you're married, have children, have assets together, have all these things, and you guys haven't had sex in a year?
I think you should introduce the conversation of bringing someone in.
Open relationship.
Open relationship, but have the conversation first. Like, no,
for sure.
Don't just go behind the back, you know?
Yeah. Because that's something me and my girl haven't discussed this, like we're gonna do it or something, but like on our podcast we've talked about, you know, like the justifications of cheating and like some people who are, you know, so tied together that it's like you can't just break up, you know what I mean? Like it's
we have like too much 401ks.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot on the line.
If you got a 401k together, you have to cheat. You have to cheat. No,
I'm not splitting this.
But I agree. I don't think there's any justification for cheating, and I think that you should be able to discuss anything with your partner. You know what I mean? Like even if it's uncomfortable, like you have to have that discussion before you go out and do something like that. Yeah.
I get you. So wait, hold on. Have you ever cheated in your life?
In my life?
Yeah.
There was this one. There was like one situation, honestly, like where me and my like ex back in the day, like we broke up, and then I started dating this other girl for like a month, and then but we were like official, I guess, for like a month, and then I cheated on that girl with my ex, but then got back with my ex, and we stayed together for like 2 years after that.
I get what you're saying.
So it was kind of like, I guess I cheated on that one. Like that one girl hated me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I did that, but I didn't like take it as serious. I don't know. And I was young, but that's the only situation. I've never been in a situation where I'm like locked in with somebody for years and then I step out. I've never done that.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
And you?
Yeah, it's definitely happened. It's definitely happened.
Yeah.
Just in my life. I think the way I got brought up and stuff like that, like it was like a thing. Like, we're gonna go hang out with these girls. We're gonna do this, and like it was kind of like almost like it didn't matter if you had a girl or not had a girl.
Interesting.
So I mean, obviously, a lot of that I've like grown a lot, as I'm been older. But I think what it was taught to me and how it's supposed to be, like, you're supposed to get all these girls. We're supposed to be out. We're supposed to be hanging out. Boom. I'm smashing girls. Even if I have a little thing, we might have been talking for a little bit, but it's still like it's cheating because obviously she's in the concept of like, hey, this is a monogamous thing. So
Yeah.
but definitely grown from that for sure.
That's amazing. I have another question.
Have you ever cheated?
What do you guys think?
I know, right? It's such your
What do
question.
you guys think is like I have, unfortunately. Not in my current relationship, of course not, but in my past, absolutely, I was a terrible person.
Do you think that men cheat more if they're 100% the provider in the relationship? Would you say, like, if a man is paying the bills and paying for the home and paying for the cars and all of that, do you think that justifies him being able to go out and cheat?
Okay, I'm just making sure because there's like kind of two different questions. I think that like, does it justify cheating?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think anything justifies cheating. I think I've learned so much as I'm getting like, just older and just more mature, and like it has a lot to do with like ego and control why you cheat and stuff like that. So I think that just has to do with, I think it's like almost like a personality trait.
Yeah.
Like cheating for sure. I think some people just don't have it in their personality to do that.
Yeah. That's real. That's real. Would you, how do you feel about like the 50-50 thing with men and women in a relationship?
Oh man, that could get deep. Depends on how the situation is, right? Like if we're talking about just a single, I'm single, no kids, she's single, no kids. I think it could potentially be like 50-50, right? I don't have a problem with 50-50 in a sense, like especially if you're both able to get around the same money. But I think as a man, like me as a man, that I'm always going to try to take on more.
For sure.
Because that's just like I'm raised by my grandfather. Like he took care of everything, not saying that my grandmother didn't work and like she didn't pay bills as well. Cause she had a pretty good job to do that. I don't think she would have left my grandfather hanging, but like he like his, like even if they were 50-50, it wasn't a 50-50. He did so much more, like with taking care of the house and like working 2-3 different jobs. So 50-50 could work. I'm not against 50-50, but I think as a man, if you're capable of taking care of more, you should take care of your woman.
I think, I agree. I think that you should strive to want to take care of your partner, especially if you genuinely love your partner and you genuinely want to take care of them. Like you should strive to do that. I don't think that there's anything wrong with, like you were kind of saying of if you're coming up and you're still developing your career and, you're still stacking up money and things like that. I think that 50-50 is okay. And I don't think that it should be like demonized or, in anything like that, cause me and my girl, I mean, it's kind of, I definitely pay for more things, but I'm not like making enough to pay for everything.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
I would argue that the role of the man in a relationship has been very clearly been portrayed into society of what it should be, right? Like in a relationship, this is the ideal role of a man. It's like providing, leading the relationship, guiding the relationship, for sure, et cetera, et cetera. But what's the role of the woman in a relationship?
Well, in societal, like if you're looking at it like from a societal standpoint, like well, kind of, right? Like
make me a sandwich, baby.
Like it's, I mean,
peanut butter jelly,
nurturing, motherly, like, and then taking on duties and tasks that surround that, which like what you're saying, like cooking, cleaning, all that shit. But I think that we're like in a totally new type of society that's like changing rapidly, and people are not fully understanding that.
Super changing.
You know what I mean? Because at this point, like women are leading in graduating from college.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, so like more women are becoming college educated, more women are becoming CEOs and having these higher powered jobs. And so in that situation, like that kind of breaks down all of that societal stigma or whatever that we used to have of like the woman is going to stay home, because like no, like these women are like CEOs, they're not staying home, you know what I mean, like they're working more than the men. And I think women are getting more opportunities now because like I think that there's just a lot of women out there who work really fucking hard and are like, you know, and have had that societal pressure on them, so they feel like they need to work even harder. And then I think a lot of guys kind of, you know, kind of sit back and aren't trying as hard because like society has shown that like, oh, the men will always get that spot. But now it's like, you know, you're always going up against other men, but now you're going up against women too.
Yeah.
You know?
Real.
Yeah.
So you're agreeing with the feminist movement over there, huh?
No, I think what's the feminine? What is that? What is like what does that mean?
That's exactly what you're saying, like the boss babes, right? Like that's because of the feminist movement. Because I get what you're saying about it.
There's
has
different
changed,
types of boss babes,
but
though,
things have changed though, right? Like back where we're like rooting this from is like our grandparents or great grandparents, where like women could not work, so the men had to take care of everything, right? So even farther back than that, when there were like farmlands and like, hey, you take care of the house because I'm like, out there.
It wasn't a thing.
Yeah, like so. I mean, again, I get that part, but yeah, women are kicking ass right now. And I know these red pill guys that are like, oh, the feminist movement is killing it, but a feminist movement is the reason now why we can, like, okay, this woman can be the VP making half a million dollars a year.
I think it takes pressure off of men too, that like these women want to work too. You know what I mean? It's like now,
maybe if you listening to this, go get you a good job so I can stop paying for so much. All right.
No, seriously though, like I mean, like if it brings like a partner that is gonna have that same like career driven like mindset, you know what I mean, and it's a healthy balance like of work and lifestyle, then like that should be good.
So you would rather date a high functioning, high performing woman in the workforce
100%
than a stay at home mom?
100%.
Oh, that's hot to me.
Yeah.
Like that's like turn on to me.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of men are not turned on by that.
Yeah.
But like my chick, like hustling, get into it, boss babe, independent woman, where she technically is not really independent because I'm with her, right?
Yeah,
like, you know, but like, oh, you out there, you're getting to it. Oh, you getting a bag, baby? I'm turned on. I'm turned on. Like a lot of guys are not like that, but I truly enjoy like her getting her own, right?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that come with a woman like that too, is like they're usually like well educated for the most part. They also are like able to have really great conversation and are very opinionated in a lot of ways. Like I want like my partner to be or my girl to be opinionated, you know what I mean? Like I want her to have her own kind of mindset and push back on things. Like I don't want everything to just be swept under the rug and she's like, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. You know what I mean? Like I want a little pushback so we can have a real conversation and actually get to a better place and not just, you know, build resentment or in some type of way. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because eventually I think with women like that, or even if there's men that let things just slide, it builds up. And then at some point,
passiveness.
You explode. I remembered my question.
What is it?
Completely different from where we're at, but
let's go there.
What do you guys think is like, how do I want to say it? Sorry, I have a lot of editing in this episode.
Trans athletes? Yeah.
Not trans athletes. We already did
You're going to take him out his mindset. Go ahead.
What do you guys think is like a reasonable body count for a woman that you're considering to be your partner?
There we
go. Like what number is too high and what number is like, like what number is like too high?
I think around my own, if it's any, I feel like if it's lower than my own, but it's still maybe high or whatever, I can't. Who am I to judge them? You know what I mean? If it's still lower than mine, you know, but mine's not crazy. Mine's not that crazy. So like, and my girl, you know, she's like, the girl that I'm with now, like she's literally, I don't really want to put her business out there, but she's only been in 2 relationships before me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hers is lower than mine for sure. But I don't know. It's tough to. Who am I to judge a woman if it's lower than mine? If it's like way crazy, if it's like double mine, then I'm like, I don't know if I want to be with somebody like that, you know?
Yeah.
Just my preference. Yeah.
So, this is like a weird question, and I'm going to answer it weird because I'm just me, right? Like, so I've never really cared about body count in a sense, right? Like, I've never cared about it because I'm always been like, yo, more experience, the sex is going to be better.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever, like, truly picked a girl that had a high body count because I've realized, like, the relationships that I've been, they've been inexperienced. And I can tell that comes with a low body count. So I think subconsciously I know I wouldn't want a girl with a very high body count, but I think in a fun sense of like just sex and it's raw and it's nasty, like, yeah, cool. Like, you got a high body count, like I'm going to be good. Yeah. But I think that I can just tell, like, even the woman that I'm with right now, that her body count isn't crazy because, like, obviously there was like this, like, putting her business out, but it's okay. Like, learning curve in it. Like, hey, we have to, like, this is how we need to do things. This is how I want it. And I think that comes with experience, right? So I think as a man, you yearn for that and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't have a body count.
You don't want to have to train somebody to, like, do simple things in sex and, like, know certain things. Like, you want them to be adventurous people. And, but this is the thing too. I think that a woman or just a person in general can get that with only dating like one person. If you're with one person for like 5 years, you guys have done everything and you've tried everything. So you're experienced without having to raise your body count technically because you're not like out here doing it. Because even if you have a huge body count and you're just having one night stands,
I get what
that's
you're saying
not
too.
Like real sex. That's not like, you're not experiencing like, you're not experiencing like passion. You're not experiencing adventurous, activities within that. It's probably just like some like horrible, like drunk, like missionary sex, and you just get it over with.
Wham bam.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like if you're with somebody, if you're in a relationship with somebody, you guys get the best experience because you're doing it. You
explore each other. You're more comfortable
with
like this something that you might have thought was nasty with someone else. Now you're over there doing it.
You typically don't explore when you're with some stranger.
No. You get I mean, we're human, right? We're gonna have self-conscious and insecurities with like people that we don't really.
What's your take on it, Div?
I don't think it matters. I feel like whatever that person was doing before the relationship that you guys are in is completely irrelevant.
Okay.
Like, I don't even think you should really have that conversation.
Okay.
To be honest with
Even from a female standpoint, like that's how you feel.
Yeah, I just feel like it's you and now. Like they didn't know you, you didn't know them at the time. So it's like, what does that have to do with what you got going on? Yeah. I feel like it's just like it's a pointless conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I think can raise insecurity in both sides. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
for sure. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I personally though, I don't think I could be if I knew that she was like had a very high body count. I don't think I could do it.
Have you ever
that
asked?
is true though.
I have a question. Yeah, like you've never
really.
Asked anybody's body count,
Okay,
or you
but
kind of like
that's what I'm
did you
getting
figure
at,
it
though.
out?
I mean, like with the girl I'm with now, like I already knew from the jump.
Got it.
I don't know how. I didn't technically ask, but I think we might have talked about it. Like, and she knows like my body count and stuff too. You know what I mean? That seems like a question that a woman would bring up. So I think she brought it up. To be honest,
like how many people have you? Like, I got you.
But yeah, I mean, like, I've discussed those certain things just because I tell my girl everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have had those conversations.
Is there a
That's
number?
beautiful, by the way.
Yeah,
it's just beautiful.
Is there a number where?
Is
there a number where like you like someone and you want to be with them, but they tell you their body count and you're like, I can't do this.
Damn.
I mean,
like it's too high.
I think kind of what Yizzo was saying of like, I feel like if there's a girl that has like this incredibly high body count, she probably has a personality that matches that, if that makes sense. And I wouldn't be attracted to that personality.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
So like 100, is that too high?
that's pretty high.
Yeah.
That is a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I think it's
That's
I,
hot. That's
and
a
you
lot.
know I hate
that's more
doing
than
this.
me for sure. That's way more than me.
I hate doing this on the sense of putting men against women, but I think a woman with 100 bodies is like, I feel like way worse than a man with 100 bodies.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
like a lot.
100%.
I mean, I agree with that. But
Especially
I
at
also
our
think-
age, like that's a lot.
That's
I
a
also
lot.
think I think it's rough either way.
Either way, on
what
both
I mean?
sides?
It's. I mean, I don't know. That's just me personally. Like comparing it to my.
Yeah, I
life.
get you. I get
Yeah.
you. I get you. No, I'm
Yeah.
I'm not even disagreeing with you. I get it. Like, it's,
Yeah.
Did you guys see the Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue stuff that was going on with them doing 1,000 bodies in one day?
That's crazy.
That's incredible. I don't know how that's like physically possible.
It's crazy.
Like, what's going on in these girls' minds, bro? Like,
She's hot though. Just
go get a job.
That's a whole other thing. Like they do have jobs and they're making fucking
They are making
millions
more
of
money
dollars.
than like
They're making-
CEOs of like fucking huge businesses.
I think it'll just evolve, like how porn is, like from the Hugh Hefner days to the OnlyFans. I think it'll just keep evolving. Sex is never gonna go away because there's a bunch of simps and horny guys out there because that's who the consumers of the porn industry are, men, right? Even us, like even guys that are in a relationship are still watching porn and maybe sometimes buying these OnlyFans. Like, I mean, that's what it is. So I think it'll just evolve. I think OnlyFans will go away and something else will come and take its place.
Yeah, but I also I do agree that like the ability to access it like right now is going to be somewhat detrimental on like people's brains.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like, but what I think will happen, I think that like as a society, naturally we kind of figure things out and we're like, okay, maybe we need to kind of like reduce some stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're even like in Texas, porn's like illegal.
Is
Did
it
you know
really?
that? You can't look up porn
Are
anymore.
you sure you're not talking about Dubai?
No, I'm talking about literally
sure
Texas.
Dubai.
This is why we need that. We need that TV right here to look it up. But no, I'm pretty sure that that's a thing. Like you can't like go on Pornhub and stuff in Texas.
I never heard of that, but it wouldn't surprise me. Texas is like its own country.
I gotta look it up. Actually.
Yeah.
That's something that you guys can continue talking about.
That's
I think
crazy.
porn is really bad. I think it conditions the mind to need a lot of different people and you know types of skin colors and this and that. And I think especially if you're a Christian or if you believe in monogamy, it's like it's a train wreck situation. For
Yeah,
you.
I
Like
get you.
You definitely want to stay away from it. And I think what's scary is what's happening with AI and VR and you know just how the porn industry I think is going to change over the next couple of years with you know these more IMAX experiences with the goggles and stuff. Yeah. Like I think it's really bad. And honestly, I'm all for like banning porn altogether. I think it should be just completely sliced.
Well, let's slow down.
I don't know if it should be completely like cut out.
Slow down there.
Or maybe we get like a couple access passes per year.
Yeah,
I
think for sure. I think that for sure.
limit.
But I just don't think that. And I also think that the law should be set in a standpoint of like it's good for mental health other than like this is what the Bible says. I don't think any law should be put into law because of religious values.
Do you think porn is good for you?
No. I'm saying like it should be put into law because it's like bad for like mental health and things like that. Okay. But I don't think it should be put into law because God says it's a sin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think any laws should. I think religion and what is it like religion and government should be like completely separated.
Completely different entities.
Yeah.
I like porn, so I don't think porn should go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
It's my take on it.
Yeah, I respect that.
Fucking completely enjoy porn.
But I've definitely reduced. I've like noticed that there's times where I get like maybe too deep in it, or I'm like I like catch myself. I'm like, have I been watching it too much this week, or like have I been doing this too much this week? And then I'll like reduce it, and it's like it does help with your relationship, with your connection, like even like your sexual connection with your partner. Like it helps when you reduce that. You know what I mean?
100%.
I feel like it's done the opposite. I see some shit on porn. I'm trying it.
Well, that too. I mean,
like,
you
right?
feel like it's
like,
made you more
like what?
experimental?
Like, this position, baby. When you get home, or when I got some shit that I just looked up, and I'm stretching right now.
Yeah.
I'm fucking stretching. You
You're
about to
doing
get
the
this? You about to get this? Whatever I just seen, okay? And I just watched this shit. I'm sending her clips and shit. Like what? I sent her a clip. Like, baby, I want you to suck my dick just like this. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of stuff that I saw.
for sure. Like you should be doing that with
Dead
your girl,
ass.
not watching some other people do it and like obsessing over it. That's the thing. Like you're.
Well, yeah.
Like,
I'm not. I want to say I'm not obsessing, but I feel like I get ideas.
Yeah, for sure. And that's good that you have a partner who like wants to like try those things. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of men out there who are married to certain women, and they're maybe more traditional or conservative in that way, and they don't want to try those things. So guys will go to porn, and it'll completely mess with their minds and their relationship.
Okay, I get that in that situation. Then because I'm over there like,
We trying that. No, me and my girl are like watching it together. You know what I mean? Like,
Nah, that's what I'm talking about. That's that shit.
I'm on that. You already know.
Yeah.
God forgive
I'm on
me,
that.
please, because this is not.
I've been with my girl for 9 years, bro. We've done literally everything you could imagine. Yeah.
I think, it's interesting because I could see how porn could be valuable, like in a relationship. Like if you guys watch it together, you know what I mean? Maybe there's like a benefit to that, but
yeah. I mean, if you're able, if you're giving that sexual energy to your relationship and you're not just giving it to your iPhone every night, that's healthy, you know. And I think it's okay to watch it every once in a while. I don't think it's like, it's not causing people to like want to go kill the president or something like that. You know what I mean? It's not like some crazy subliminal shit.
Let's talk about addiction because I think it's a very relevant topic to everyone's life. Like everyone has like certain things that they deal with. I'll be vulnerable. For me, it's been nicotine. That's been like the thing that I literally can't kick. I'm not on it for the last couple of days, but I've had to really go to Jesus and be like, dude, like you got to help me out because I got to stop this stuff because I know it's not good for my body.
Yeah.
Do you guys have addictions that you deal with? And if so, if you're comfortable speaking about it, like how do you fight the urges and how are you like battling it if you are?
I don't know. I don't really have addictive personality. I mean, I do like definitely like hit my vape and I have nicotine addiction too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty hard to kick. Nicotine is pretty hard, but I don't know. Like, I can't think of like an actual addiction that I have. I don't have like an addictive personality. Yeah. I do like certain things a lot when I like them, but I think I just get ultra focused on something. But like addicted to, no, like I don't see it right now. And maybe it might be better. Like my girl could probably answer. It's like, you're addicted to this, but like I don't know. I don't see myself besides like nicotine, right? But I don't even want to stop it because I have stopped nicotine on like different occasions when I just like attempted to. But maybe if you asked me to stop right now, I couldn't. Then it would be like fuck. So no, I don't really have nothing on that. Like thinking about addiction.
Yeah. I'm not really. I mean, I used to be addicted to a lot of things. Like I used to be addicted to a lot of drugs. You know? But now I don't even smoke weed. You know, like I don't do any drugs. I don't smoke any nicotine or anything. Like I've never been into cigarettes or anything. I drink occasionally, but I don't know. I almost think I need more vices, you know, to like, I don't know. Like I'm always thinking about that. I'm like, I don't really have any like vices.
Vices are good.
Yeah. I think vices, no, I think they can be good and they can be healthy. And like, I think you need something to kind of, I don't know, just give you that little extra happy-ness in your life. You know what I mean? The dopamine. Yeah.
Need it.
You know, so, but I mean, I used to be like, I don't even know if I was addicted to it or if I just liked doing it because it was just felt good and it was fun. But I guess that's addiction. But it was, you know, like Xanax was like huge. Like I was like really into Xanax and like Percocets and promethazine codeine and shit. You know, I was like very deep into that.
Oh damn, you was living a rapper's life, bro.
Literally, yeah, it was crazy.
You were definitely living a rapper's life.
Were you double cupping it with like Jolly Ranchers?
Yeah, you got to every time. Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, I mean, like I would, I would go hang out with my homies you know, and I was like selling a lot of shit too. So I mean, we would just sell it out of like this one crib, and it was literally just like the trap house. You know what I mean? Like you just pull up to it, and it's like everybody's just getting fucked up and stuff and selling. We didn't sell like crazy shit, but you know, a lot of pills and a lot of weed, and that's kind of how I got my connect. That's how I came out here was because I was doing a lot of things with this weed guy, and then he brought me out to LA to run his grow house for him and stuff. So that's how I literally came from Arizona. So I was deep in it, and I was, you know, would take a Xanax bar and like sip a couple ounces of lean and just like go through my day, you know.
Wow.
Damn.
How did you get out of that?
So like with the Xanax stuff, it all kind of happened at once because there was this point where there was this one night that I had drinking like, I think like in total throughout the day it was like around 6 ounces of promethazine codeine.
Oh my god, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
And so, and it wasn't all at once. It was like I drank 2 in the like earlier in the day, and then I drank like 2, and then I drank another 2, and I went to this like party that was at my sister's house, and So I'm just like, fuck, I'm just lit as fuck. You know what I mean? And I drank the last 2 ounces at my sister's place. I was just like blunt after blunt. And then I for some reason I had like a half a Xanax in my pocket and I just popped it like without even thinking.
Wow.
And I ended up like passing out kind of, but I was like still conscious.
Yeah.
And like I remember my sister came up to me and was like was so worried about me. She was like, what is going on? Like, what are you on right now? And I couldn't even like talk and then I got up and I ran to the backyard and I started throwing up everywhere. It was insane. Like that was, I think, like as close as to the sun as I like had ever gone. So there was that incident and that kind of was like eye opening. And I was like, okay, I need to stop doing lean.
Yeah.
And then I was still kind of like doing Xanax every once in a while. And there was this trip I went on with my parents, and we went up to like the woods and we were there for like a week. And so I didn't take any Xanax that entire time. And on like the second to last day that we were there, my dad comes in the room to wake me up and I'm having a full on seizure.
Oh, wow.
No way.
Yeah. And so
It's intense.
So I like had a seizure up there and they obviously like called the ambulance and were like, what the fuck? You know, they were so surprised. They're like, what is going on here? And so I just remember like waking up in the morning and then blacking out and then like waking up in the hospital bed. And right when I wake up in the hospital bed, my parents were like, what's lean? You know, because my sister was there and my sister was like, this one night he drank so much. Like she basically had told them about that one night, you know? And so, yeah, so it was definitely tied to the Xanax because Xanax, like when you come off that, it's like you can die from the withdrawals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that was very eye-opening, and I think after that I didn't do it ever again. Like I think that was like what
So
did it.
you kind of had to hit like a low for you to like really realize. Yeah, I feel like sometimes you got to go through shit and realize like how it affects the people around you for you to like be like, yo, I got to get my shit together.
For sure. But now I'm like scared of all that stuff, like especially with like the fentanyl shit and stuff like that. Like I would never touch a pill in my life ever again.
People are dying from it right now with fentanyl and stuff. So
Yeah, so it's not worth it, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah, that was my addiction. I used to have a lot of addictions, I guess. Now I don't have like any.
Yeah, you got to go find some. No, I'm just kidding.
Find some vices.
Get this money.
Get this money. Addicted to this paper.
Addicted to hustling.
Nah, man. I really appreciate you guys coming on. I feel like this was definitely a different episode than I usually have, but this was dope. I feel like we learned a lot. My girlfriend stared at me. I'm sorry. I'm crashing, bro.
No.
Yeah.
We're there. We're done.
But no, for real, though, we'll cut some of this out. But yo, thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Where can they find you? Like, if they don't follow you already?
Yeah, man. You can just check me out on the IG at Young Yizzo, YUNG. YZZO. You already know.
There it is.
Let's go.
And then Blackwell, Grant Blackwell, Till Death Network, and then I'm helping run Divij's Den. So keep watching this. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You should try and get a sponsorship with Liquid Death.
Yeah,
for
for
Till
real.
Death.
Liquid Till Death. Yeah.
That'd be kind of sick. Actually,
Be fire.
That would be dope.
I could reach out.
Maybe, I don't
okay.
know
Anyways,
how
I'm
to
sorry, guys.
incorporate
Thank you
it.
guys for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for staying. If you're made it this far, I really appreciate it.
Yes.
And yeah, leave a review, subscribe, follow the homies, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of Divij Den. Peace.
Peace.